What your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Welcome, White Devils, Season 2, Episode 6. New day, new time.
Yeah.
It's kind of different.
Happy Valentine's Day, Republicans.
Oh, yeah, it's Valentine's Day and shit.
We're here to get you fired up on your way to have joyless missionary sex with your wife.
Oh, shit. Or fucking your cousin if you're one of those people.
We don't have a lot of down south viewers.
I said cousin fuckers, and we lost 3 viewers right away. Welcome to the White Devils podcast. Like I said, season 2, episode 6. Not guilty again. We are back in the studio this week, but it is still not normal. You guys can't really see, but we're sitting on a couch in the podcast studio. See, I'm in Rich's area.
I can see the couch.
Yeah, you can see it a little bit. But anyway, I'm still putting the podcast studio together after we did some little light remodeling here. This is our first Sunday show, as I've said 2 times before already in this 2.5 minutes. We wanted to move it to Thursdays to broaden our audience a bit, as even though we did it on Wednesday at 5 o'clock where it could be considered maybe drive time radio, it's hard for people to watch and comment as they're driving home, and it's not safe either because the weather sucks, roads are bad, all that shit.
Yeah, and you want to get home, get settled in a little bit.
So here we are, Sundays, 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. Like me and Rich are here in studio. Eddie, we're waiting for Eddie to get home so he could hop on. But we're going to get started with the show. There's not much to go over. We did a show on Wednesday if you guys tuned in. So we got most of the week's shit out of the way there, broke some shit down. There hasn't been a lot of activity other than the impeachment trial for the rest of the week. So we will get into that verdict and the fallout and what could happen down the line. You know what I was thinking though? Can some random person just file a civil suit against them for it?
That's an interesting question, and it remains to be seen. But I mean, not only does he have,
and I asked that question because it's weird for me not to know. And like I thought about it all night last night. Like I was trying to watch WandaVision, and like I just keep thinking about if I could go downtown Chicago, because that's probably where I would file. No, I'd file in Hammond. I would file in Hammond. We got a federal office in Hammond.
Yeah.
If I go down tomorrow morning, tomorrow's a holiday. It's
President's Day.
Yeah. So I could go down there Tuesday. Can I go down there Tuesday and file a civil suit against Trump for his role in the white nationalist terrorist attack on the Capitol?
Well, you could definitely file it. Whether or not you end up winning is a different ballgame, and that kind of remains to be seen. I will say, doing that, you're stepping into Trump's playground. Like, that man's been through so much litigation, it's ridiculous. But I'm sure some of these guys that got indicted are going to try. Because, whatever. What do you have to lose?
Shout out to Chill. He always he tunes in every week. Chill, if you want to, I know you watch from my personal page, but if you go to the Villain Radio like page and you watch it from there, all your comments that you make, I could bring them up on the screen. For some reason, they don't let us do it with people watching on the personal page. You could also go to the YouTube, the Villain Radio Network YouTube. Shout out to everybody on YouTube that be watching. I've got my subscriber numbers up, but for some reason, I still don't have the option to create the custom URL. So I put a little help ticket in on Thursday. So hopefully we got that coming up soon. So that way you just be like youtube.com/VRN or Villain Radio Network or some shit like that.
Yeah, that would be dope.
That's what we're getting to. But the impeachment trial ended. Both sides presented their cases, and just like Rich thought was going to happen, he was found not guilty again.
Yeah.
Which I was hoping for, but 7 Republicans did break ranks.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would get 7, so I was pleased with 7.
57-43. And only in politics is that a loss.
Yeah.
The 7 are already being attacked by the right-wing media. Bill Cassidy has been censured by the Louisiana State GOP. And I guess their battle is ongoing, but it seems like Trump's got a pretty firm grip on that party.
Yeah, it does look like that right now.
You know, Mitch McConnell is becoming. We need to make a new picture for him. We need him as a waffle or a pancake,
something.
Because he comes out and says he's going to acquit Trump,
but then talks mad shit.
Well, then he acquits him, and the reason is the constitutionality, which the Senate voted on.
Yeah,
in a bipartisan manner, that it was constitutional. But they just the GOP ignored that and used it as an escape hatch. Yeah, and then he proceeds to shit on Trump after acquitting him.
Yeah, because he had to. He has to play his position within his own party, so he acquits him.
I think,
but then he still has to, make nice and hope to advance some shit that he would like done, within the chamber. So he lashes out on publicly.
He ain't getting nothing through the chamber.
No, nothing whatsoever.
Bro, we're so done with these motherfuckers.
No.
All the games they play and the bullshit, man. We better be. I want to see a strong, united Democratic Party steamrolling these assholes for at least the next 2 years, because I'm just tired of it, man. Like, now there's rumors that the Republican Party is going to split in half.
Yeah, there are those.
Because people ain't for it, man. Some people ain't for it. Some people just want to dick ride them because they know that they had nothing going on before Trump brought them 74 million votes.
74 million.
Which, by the way, a Trump supporter talking about 74 million votes is the same way I feel when I talk about 57-43.
Okay.
It's like you won, but not really.
You won, but
you didn't win.
You didn't win.
You did well, but you didn't win. So, yeah. When we left you guys on Wednesday, the House managers were finishing up their case. I was getting ready to go into this big spiel about Trump's defense lawyers, and we could talk about that a little bit, but having the verdict already just kind of sucked the fucking life out of it.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I was overly hopeful, but.
Yeah, you were 50-50.
I was let down again.
Leave it to the Republicans to let you down.
Leave it. Yeah, I was hoping common sense was going to trickle down upon them, but I know better that trickle down doesn't work.
They used, a bunch of whataboutism, a big time on the word fight.
Yeah.
So, listen, I've listened to a lot of politicians talk over the years. And yeah, they talk about fighting for, your country, fighting for what you believe in. But never once have I actually said, oh, they want me to go out and perform acts of violence in furtherance of our agenda. Not until Donald Trump. So if you want to wipe out all the context and just look at the word fight.
Well, they do want you to get out and fight, but they want you to go do it in other countries.
Well, and I was
to advance their agenda.
As I was listening to
which is give me your oil.
The reactions come in. I thought back to 2016, okay, and I was pissed off too. And I was definitely activated when Donald Trump won, and I definitely wanted to fight. But I was like, yo, let me get on here and fight this disinformation. Let me get on here and engage these people. Let me start this podcast. I didn't ever think, yo, let's load the strap up and go fucking storm the Capitol building. But, with Trump, it was different. Even from coming down the gold elevator, calling Mexicans murderers and rapists, talking about I could shoot someone in the head in Fifth Avenue and won't lose a voter. Like, he would have protesters at his rallies, and he'd be telling people to rough them up and all this type of shit. Like, he definitely brought the violence to politics. And if you're not seeing that, you just don't want to. End of story. Like, you're just an ostrich. You got your fucking head in the sand. If you don't think he's guilty, I understand that technically he's innocent for the impeachment, but if you don't think he's guilty of what they accused him of, you're just a fucking fool.
Yeah, then well, they're fools.
Well, they're thirsty. I heard a Lindsey Graham quote from Fox News this morning, And it was the most honest thing I've heard him say in a couple of years.
What up, Mike? How you doing today?
Hey, Mike. And he said they need Trump. They need his energy. They need his voter block. Okay, but what are you willing to sacrifice for that? Your self-respect, your fucking dignity. Lindsey Graham was one of these guys that when Trump was running in 2015 was shitting all over him, saying he's a thief and a liar and they can never let him have office. Now they're fucking best buddies. Same thing as with Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, bro. Remember he called him fucking, what do you call him, little hands Marco?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
some shit like
something like that.
Bro, he
definitely was talking shit though. So
yeah,
but that's what is that's expected out of him. That's what he knows and that's what he does best. You're either with him or against him, and if you're against him, he's really gonna hammer it home that you're against him, And now that you're against him, you're one of the enemies. No matter, even if you're technically on the same team. So,
yeah, well, I get Trump's perspective, as deranged as it is. I just don't get all these other GOP senators' perspective. They're such cowards, man. In their heart of hearts, they want Trump as far away from the party as they can get him. And what is Lindsey Graham doing today? Saying that Richard Burr is going to be replaced because he's retiring in 2022 by Laura Trump is somehow going to become a senator of North Carolina.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? Indeed. Like that bitch has never lived in North Carolina a day in her life.
No, well, that's the thing. They just got to establish some type of residency. You don't got to be there for any. I think it might be 30 days.
I don't know.
I'm not for sure.
But it's garbage. She don't know nothing about politics.
No.
That's just another empty suit, man. That's Trump's will at play.
Ghost of Herman Cain.
The ghost of Herman Cain is lurking steady in 2021.
Yes.
So yeah, I was ready to tear up the defense's approach. They were focused on the word fight. They threw out Chuck Schumer saying that people need to fight, and then they took a Chris Cuomo quote out of context. I was going to play the whole thing. I was actually listening to Chris Cuomo as they were airing that live in the impeachment, his radio show, and he gave the full paragraph of what he was saying, and it's just pathetic, man. Like they'll just spin anything just to make their point.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I'm not going to say Democrats don't sort of do that.
No.
Not to this extent. Like the Republican Party is going off the deep end. And then the defense attorney, their whole presentation was what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
It's pathetic. It's barely trying.
Yeah, because they already knew they had it in the bag, so they didn't want to waste any money because they're conservative.
Why even take it seriously if you know you got it in the bag because you know you're not getting 17 people to do the right thing?
Oh shit! Finally, after a couple weeks of work and starting to remodel his new house,
I thought he was fresh back from the January 6th Capitol riots.
Yeah, I got a small federal charge.
It was Antifa. That's what Trump told me.
We don't got no sound for you. Where you at?
Can you hear me?
Pointing doesn't help.
Yeah, point don't help. Thank you for pointing it down.
Yo, test.
Everything's good on my end, so
Test.
It's got to be on your end.
No, it's StreamYard, bro.
You're like, hold on.
It's tweaking.
Anyway,
you're the tech guy.
And
get techie.
You do this stuff. Anyway, Eddie's back, but not right now. But he'll be back. But yeah, it's so weird. Like it still all seems surreal that all this fucking Mike heard him. We just didn't hear him. That's weird. Let's see how it goes now.
Yo, can you hear me?
Okay. I think everybody else could hear you. For some reason, we can't hear you. That's weird.
Ghost of Herman Cain.
Yeah, hold on one second. Hey, just stay where you're at. Let me see something. That's why we can't hear you.
I like solutions.
There we go. Welcome back, Eddie.
Test.
You're good.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. I caught a small federal charge for treason. Edition.
Nothing the GOP senators can't get you out of.
Yeah, exactly. I just need a little Lindsey Graham and some Ted Cruz. Did you guys talk about Ted Cruz's haircut?
No, but that
not
fucking
yet.
is that a full mullet or a half mullet?
Bro,
or what are we
it's like
talking?
it's like a rat tail, but like the sides are shaved off. But
I don't know what it is, but it's
they
it's
did
weird.
that thing that like I don't know what they call it, but a lot of girls do it. They have like the undercut where it's like long and then underneath it's like cut. So they like I don't know.
You know what? He's trying to achieve that ultimate Karen haircut.
You know, he's
He's
always
morphing.
tried different things with his hair. First, it was a mustache, just not to look like a fucking lame.
Yeah,
and he fails every time. I don't know if that's like Texans are doing that or if that's just what he's on.
that's just a
But
Ted
that
Cruz
haircut
thing.
is fucking awful, bro. That fucking rat tail.
I feel like it's kind of like an episode of The Office where sorry about that. Where what's it called? Ryan has a mustache, so Michael grows one out.
Yeah. We had just wrapped up talking about Trump's acquittal, his second acquittal for impeachment.
I said this before. The first impeachment, right? Like, Senate Republicans can make the choice to be the party of Trump or to have some accountability, and they've gone all in on the treason. It's their choice to make.
Yeah.
But I was just listening to NPR on my ride back. Actually, they interviewed one of the guys who's a advisor to the Lincoln Project. And he's talking about how the House Republicans, increased their margins in the federal House. But if you look at Michigan, they've lost thousands of races statewide. They used to have complete control, supermajority. They used to have the governor's mansion, all sorts of local, treasury, all these things. They've lost all of them. They've lost everything. So it's not a surprise that Trump lost Michigan, but it's not a question of like losing Michigan, right? Or like what that says from the Electoral College, or losing Georgia. The bigger issue is that people just hate Trump, and whatever small marginal gains they may have made in the House are going to continue. I mean, if you want to continue holding on to Trump and invading capitals and talking about, I have a First Amendment right against constitutional cancel culture, whatever the fuck that means. Like,
bro, their use of the term cancel culture has been making me fucking nauseous, bro. Like, who is canceling you? Yes, as a government, we tried to cancel Donald Trump from running for office. But like these fucking senators around Fox News talking about, I'm being canceled. You're on TV right now, bitch. You still have a job.
Yeah, Josh Hawley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. The idea that like it's we've talked about this before. It's grievance politics, right? It's the liberals hate you because you live in a small town and you have a truck and you are a carpenter or whatever it is. The liberals hate you because you're in. It's interesting because like on the one hand, the Republicans have this veneer of we're for the working class, and the liberals hate you because they all have avocado toast for brunch, and they all work at the New York Times.
I don't work at the New York Times, nor do I eat avocado toast.
Hey, exactly. What's up, Cheeto? Real quick.
Yeah, shout out to Cheeto, Jesus. So it's just completely ridiculous, right? Like, first of all, avocado toast is delicious and everyone should have it. But like the idea that like they are the party of the unions and, steel workers and things like that. And so they wrap their the party in this idea of like, I don't want to use the word populism because it's a different, the way they've used populism in the last 5 years is
Mike
different.
eats avocado toast too.
Shout out to avocado toast. But the idea that like they are the party of the working man, the everyday man, is ridiculous. And I think that more and more voters are seeing that, like, particularly with the pandemic, that like the Republicans have no interest in them at all. It's a complete farce. They can't even give you a $2,000, more than $600.
Ed, how is Joe Biden going to drop a $1.9 trillion plan, and then the Republicans come and sit down and offer him $600 billion? Like, are you even trying?
No, they're not. It's top performance. That's what I'm getting at. It's just the idea of, I'm going to, I have my plan, 600 billion.
Yeah, take it.
Because you didn't take it, like, they hate you, and they're not trying to do anything for the working class. It's completely ridiculous. I don't understand why the Democrats have basically given the legislative agenda to the Republicans.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
It don't make no sense.
How the fuck do the Republicans maintain this level of power when we beat them and they don't own one branch of government?
They don't have any power. I don't remember Chuck Schumer fucking doing power sharing agreements, or I'm sorry, Mitch McConnell doing power sharing agreements. Like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
The Democrats don't want to be seen as the bad guy.
We're trying to be fair, but you know what? They haven't been fair with us in a long time.
It's already been put in motion that we're not going to need no Republican votes to get the stimulus through. It's going to take a little bit while longer than we wanted it to, but we'll get it.
No, but you can only do that twice in a calendar year that way.
Hey, fuck it.
So there's other shit we need to find ways to get done.
Change the rules.
I mean, I'm for it.
Use the first time to do this, and the second time use it to change the rules. There you go.
I'm all for it, because that voter rights bill needs to be passed.
Yes,
to stop all these fucking bills going through these state legislatures to fucking clamp down on voting again. We need to get the immigration plan through. At some point, they got to get to healthcare. We've got a lot of shit to do, and if they're not going to come along with us, we got to steamroll them. And I like that they're doing it on the COVID bill, but I hate that every time a Democrat comes into office, there's some big thing they got to fucking fix. Like, why do we have to fucking? We
both shared that article about the economy tanking under Republican leadership and then having to be brought back to life. And it's not, we're not harping on it because we're Democrats or liberals or whatever the case may be, but it's there's data and numbers to back this up. It's something that happens.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a liberal or libertarian or an anarchist. Like, these are real people, right? These are real lives, and there's real damage being done. So I was listening to NPR 5 minutes ago before I came in, and they talk about like the impact of coronavirus to women in the labor market, and how many millions of women have dropped out of.
It's been crucial.
Out of the workforce, and it's majority Hispanic women. It's majority Latin American women. It's people from lower classes, right? Mm-hmm. And what we've seen is that it's not just COVID, right? It's the fact that we didn't build a robust childcare system for working women and it's the homeschooling, right? We didn't have they were in industries that couldn't quickly shift to work from home. Like, there are structural things that have happened that have prevented women from being able to withstand this impact of COVID on the economy. And what that means is people are losing their houses, people are losing their jobs, people are not able to pay their credit card bills, which don't pay your credit card bills, don't have credit cards at all. It's still a scam. But like, these are real people, they're really suffering. And it didn't just happen overnight, right? Like, it didn't happen because of COVID. We had years to fix this. We had. I mean, Trump was in power for 4 years. Why didn't he, pass healthcare? Why didn't he help?
It was coming in 2 weeks.
School funding.
That was the longest 2 weeks from the beginning, from his time on the campaign trail in 2000, starting way back towards the end of 2014. He always promised, it's coming, and then it became in 2 weeks, and they use that.
Week.
Yeah, they use that. It's gonna in 2 weeks.
Infrastructure
Line
leak.
fucking numerous.
But
numerous
it wasn't
times.
just Trump, right? Like Obama had a crack at it. George W. Bush had a crack at it. Clinton had a crack at it. Clinton had a crack at Medicare for all. He caved.
Yeah.
Obama had a crack at Medicare for all. He caved. Biden's not even trying. He's like, nah, forget that whole Medicare for all thing. He just said straight up no. Like there are large structural issues that prevent people from, withstanding COVID, and it's not just Republican leadership. It's not Senate leadership. It's American society as a whole has decided that the social safety net is not a real thing. It's not worth it. It's more important to have Elon Musk tweet about doggy coin and be a billionaire than it is for, Rich or myself to be able to go to the hospital.
Right. Well, what a lot of this comes down to, if you really want to step back and look at it broadly, it's the politics of me versus the politics of we. Some people in this country just don't care about other people in this country.
That's what Trump really showed, right? Like, it's not just like, well, he's a shitty person. Like, people are attracted to Trump because he's a dickhead, and they want to be free to be that type of person, right? They feel that, if I get laid and I brag about it, if I make millions of dollars and I brag about it, if I don't pay my taxes and brag about it, they want to be that person, right? Yeah. The American relationship to capital has been strongly influenced by the Calvinist rhetoric. And, basically what people have been taught from the early days of the founding of the country before it was even a country, was that, God rewards the people that work hard and make money. And if you're not being rewarded, it's because God doesn't love you enough. So the way to get close to God is to, have slaves, to take land from the Indians. It's manifest destiny, right? We're called to grab all these resources for ourselves and only for ourselves. That is the founding, that is the true underpinning of the American economy. So to think that, like, Jeff Bezos could easily give everybody an extra $100,000 for whatever salary they already make to work at the Amazon warehouses, right? Yeah. He could do that right now. He wouldn't lose a penny. He would lose a little bit of money, but it wouldn't impact his life at all.
Yeah, because he'd get the money right back.
He wouldn't even notice it. It's like the chunk he's never going to spend.
Yeah.
No, the PR by itself would be worth it, right? Like, yeah. But it's not about that. So. It's not about that. It's, these billionaires could literally, he could write a check right now to Michigan for the Flint water. Yeah. He could turn around and say, hey, California, let's make sure we don't have any lead in our water. Anybody need money? Here's $500 billion.
And write it off.
Exactly. These people have the power to change our lives for the better.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is literally snap their fingers and write a check and say, hey, you know what? I think I want to help people. They refuse to do it. So why should I do it? Why should you do it, Rich? Why should Rob pay his taxes? Why should he pay more than $750 in taxes?
I mean, man. Because we're holding the fucking economy up, I guess.
Yeah. It's our job. Because there's more of us, so we have to do it.
Because if we don't, then they're going to have to, and that's a problem.
You know what, Mike? There you go. There you go, right there. Their American economy is based on a Posse scheme.
Yeah, Mike. Let me tell you a story about.
let me
tell you a real story. No. Let me tell you something straight up. Like, I've been investing. Rob knows, for the last year or so. I've been learning the game. Learning, Fibonacci retracement and things like that, candle lights.
Another copium stream?
Yeah. I am in these Discords, right? Discords are like servers for gamers and stuff. It's just like kind of like IRC or any other whatever chat program. I'm on these Discord servers for investments, bro. I am not lying to you when I tell you that people do the research, they find the companies, they do the due diligence. They tell me when to get in. They tell me when to get out. I literally have to do nothing and make money. Okay? Nothing. I can show you on my phone 5 different companies that are going to bounce in the next week. Where's the profit?
You should
Where's
be
the money?
messaging me all this stuff.
Where's the work? Right? I'll get you guys in my group chats. But you know, there's people who work on Wall Street who are, you know, and I'm not like blaming them or whatever. These are rich white jock boys, you know, frat boys who smash Coors Lights on their head, who, you know, go and get a business degree and go work on Wall Street and make $1 million.
Yeah.
Are there any more or less deserving of that $1 million than I am? No. Look,
Well,
look,
while
live your
sniffing
life.
a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah, live your life. Look, I can't hate on another man's blessings either, right? But at the same time, like, there is nothing special that they are doing that I can't do on these trade discords.
No, we
and so the idea that, like, you know, you work really hard and you'll get ahead in America is the biggest lie you'll ever come across, because the history of American labor is the history of exploitation.
Bro, I was just arguing with this dude on Facebook for like 2 days. I went to school with him, and, you know, like, we didn't grow up with a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? But we were still benefit to white privilege in terms of the neighborhoods we were allowed to, you know, we were able to get into, and the school system that came with that. And he's just like, dude, an ostrich with his head in the sand. Like, he thinks everything's equal, everybody's equal. All you got to do is work hard. He said only 5 to 10% of America is racist.
You know, people got mad at me when I said that Barack Obama was a white supremacist.
I might have got a little salty with you for that too.
But
shit!
Look, America is a racist country, and he was the head of America. He was running shit. How is he not a white supremacist, bro? Barack Obama, one of the first things that he did was a black professor got arrested for trying to get into his house, and he was like, "Oh, the cop, he must have been confused. The cop was in the right. Let's go sit down and have a beer." What did that do? What did that do? Yeah, you know, George Floyd thanks you for having a beer with the cop.
That's Barack Obama's true flaw, is that he was trying to please everybody. He was really walking both sides of the fence.
Exactly.
And what happened was, you know, white people were like, he was a black president. He was for the blacks. And then black people were like, dude, he wasn't for us. Like, he left us out in the cold. He didn't do nearly enough for our community. So he just ended up with, like, everybody pointing the finger at him because he tried to please all.
He definitely, his problem is that he acted in a sense of, I'm going to assume that you're acting in good faith, when we all know that they were never acting. Mitch McConnell acting in good faith.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hilarious joke.
The first 2 years he had a super majority, and he blew it because he was trying to work across the aisle. Fuck that aisle. Shit. Fuck the other side of that aisle, man. These motherfuckers.
Let there be blood.
They didn't care. Easy. Now you're going to sound like a Trump tard. But they didn't care about us when they were passing their tax cut. They didn't care about us when they tried to repeal Obamacare. God bless John McCain, by the way.
They literally rushed through a new Supreme Court nominee in 6 days.
Right. Yeah. After they wouldn't do it 4 years prior.
But they
they did that, they rushed it through in 6 days while a motherfucking another stimulus bill sat on the floor for fucking months.
May the House passed that. And it took them till the last
sitting there. They still haven't passed it.
No, they haven't.
10 months later, bro, where's my $1,400? Where's Sleepy Joe? Needs Venmo me right now.
Bro, it's killing me. It's killing me how much people are blaming Joe. It's like, dude, he's been in for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Chill out. Like, let the system work. They're pushing it through. They're in reconciliation. They said they're going to be working on it all next week.
Yep.
But it still might not land till like mid-March.
Yeah, well,
they're talking.
Pelosi's talking about look for it being signed to March 14th, right around March 14th.
Well, that's when the unemployment benefits expire. So they want to have it done by then for sure. That's their hard deadline.
Literally a year after the coronavirus started. I mean, March 13th was the last day I went into the office. It was Friday. March 13th. I haven't left the crib since. I mean, I've left the crib. Don't get me wrong, but I haven't left the crib since.
For work.
No indoor bars. No, baseball games. Nothing.
Bro, and that sucks because our whole summer, me and his whole summer, is based upon us going to Sox games.
Bro, I'm a Sox. Not a full season ticket holder, but I got like a 10-game package. And they had a rollover from last season.
Yeah. I had tickets. I bought tickets for Cubs White Sox, at Wrigley for my sister's birthday, like right before everything happened. Like, so we're talking a full year.
Yeah.
They've been sitting on that. They've had confirmed 2 Supreme Court nominees in the last year. What else have they done?
I don't know. It feels like
They didn't roll out. They sent the PPE to China.
This has really been the longest year of my life. They
sent PPE to China. They had a national vaccine program, then literally threw it in the trash can because they said let the states handle it.
Well, did they have one, or did they just say they had one?
They were working on one, and
when
then
Biden came into office, they didn't have shit.
No. They were working on one, and then Jared Kushner and them decided.
It's rough when Disneyland stays closed and annual pass. Disneyland, where you at, Mike?
He's in Long Beach.
Long Beach, all right, okay.
Yeah, so they've had a year. This bill has been sitting for a year. They gave us $600 and said, "Good luck. You're on your own."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first one? $1,000?
1,200.
Yeah, 1,200. I was in Vegas the first time I got stimulated. I was just chilling, waking up from a night of lots of backwoods, and then I woke up, and the first thing I see is my Cash App notification said $1,200 deposit, and I was like, "Oh shit! It actually worked." Because I didn't file taxes, so they had that one website. The IRS had that one website where you would go and enter in your all your information. Your income was 0, whatever, blah blah blah, and your fucking bank account information, and see what happens. That shit hit. I was like, you know what? I was supposed to leave that day. I was supposed to leave that evening, and then I decided to stay another day. I was like, I'm gonna stay here one more day.
So a calendar year, you got $1,800.
Yeah, because I got the second 601 too.
How much rent is that? 2 months, maybe.
That's not even 2 months. That's
a month.
That's not
my mortgage.
It's not even 2 months of studio rent. Not even.
Yeah, 18. Wow. And so the fact that we haven't recovered, right, and done better with the cases and everything like that. We were doing decent in April, right? We had a big spike in cases, and then we had the positivity rate for Illinois or Chicago go down to below 5%.
Right.
Let's open the bars up. Let's open the schools up. Let's do everything. Let's undo. The reasons why cases are going down by prohibiting mass, gatherings in places with bad ventilation, right? Let's give up on that because things are going well. And when cases go back up, let's shut down again. It's insane. It's the most, it's not even sticking your head in the sand. You're literally sticking your dick in, into a wall socket and you get electrocuted.
In a wall socket.
I was gonna say
you get a bunch of you get a bunch of people get electrocuted, and then they're like, "Oh well, nobody's gotten electrocuted recently, so let's
do it again.
Let's see what happens this time." What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think happens when you have these weddings with 300 people? None of them are wearing masks, and they're all getting drunk as hell. What do you think is gonna happen? The first thing that's going to happen is the best man is going to reach over and tell the guy getting married, "I love you, man. You're the best." And then they're all going to get sick and die. It's completely fucked that we know what the strategy should be. We're all reasonable, smart people, right?
It's coming.
Wear your mask, keep your distance, and don't be with a bunch of people you don't live with.
Yeah.
Don't go to Disneyland.
I don't know if we're all, intelligent, reasonable people. But some of it too, it's dude, you tune into Fox News, it's like alternate reality. They're not even really talking about the impeachment, except now that he got acquitted. They weren't showing none of it. They cut out of it when they started showing that sizzle reel of highlights from the January 6th.
Oh yeah,
riot.
yeah.
They cut away from that footage.
I was watching Fox News on the 6th, late at night, and they literally called them marauders. They made it seem you remember I don't know if you remember this, or the viewers probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't know if Rob might know what I'm talking about. There was a footage of Lollapalooza like a year or two ago, and a bunch of kids jumped over the fence. And the one person that couldn't jump over the fence was a kid who had one leg.
Yeah.
And the cops arrested the one kid with the one leg, right? Like, it's just ridiculous, right? Like that didn't happen. That's not how people got into the Capitol, right? These people came with like bear mace and not guns and knives and handcuffs, literally ready to kill Mike Pence. Literally,
Right.
I'm telling you. What do you think was going to happen? What do you think would have happened if they actually got their hands on AOC or Nancy Pelosi, or even Mitt Romney? Mitt Romney went from almost being a president to being close to violently murdered by his former voters within 8 years.
Welcome to this season's episode. Yeah. This season of America.
Yeah, like, this episode of House of Cards went off the rails.
I've said numerous times on this show and on Sunday Dinner, which will follow this show at 7:00 or so. But we're like keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
We're the shit show that the whole world watches, being like, what the fuck they gonna do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking mess, man.
And it's not. They're like, who's America fucking over now? Oh, it's just fucking over itself again.
Just imploding. No big deal. Nothing to see here. Dude, when he said it was Antifa, bro, storming that building,
bro.
All right, first off, what's up?
It was Antifa.
What does Antifa care about presidential politics?
Yeah,
really. I guarantee you, Antifa does not give a shit if Donald Trump or Joe Biden is president.
Antifa definitely ain't coming to his rallies and listening to him fucking bitch and moan for 70 minutes with a bunch of Trump gear on. And then if it was Antifa, then why didn't you call in the National Guard? It's a federal building, bro. You could have stopped that right there. You refused to call in the National Guard.
He did when he wanted to walk across Lafayette Square and hold the Bible upside down like a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I've never seen a Bible held like that before.
And let's not talk about how he fucking had people tear gassed on as before he went out there.
Yeah.
So
he tear gassed. He literally tear gassed the people who were at the church, clergy members. But if it was Antifa, he would have came down. He would have fucking dropped a nuclear bomb on the Capitol. He doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. The idea that nobody could have seen this coming is complete horseshit. Okay, and I've said this to other people. You know whose name we haven't heard in all of this is God damn it! Oh my God, what is his fucking name?
That's why no one can remember.
Yeah, that's why.
Eric Prince.
Oh, okay.
You don't think Eric Prince had anything to do with this? Michael Flynn's brother was on the call with the National Guard. They asked him if they should send in the National Guard. And he's like, nah. You don't think Mike Flynn himself knew that this was coming? Roger Stone knew it.
Bro, everybody knew this was coming.
Everybody knew it was coming.
This was the most predictable thing.
I'm surprised that it took so long.
The fact that sooner or later it was going to foment over.
I thought it would have happened like way sooner.
It did happen. Michigan, Kentucky, all that shit was dry run.
Yeah.
It was a dry run. Why do you think he told the Proud Boys to stand by and stand back? Because he was waiting to see if he was going to win the election. Man. They would have done the same thing in 2016.
That's a little conspiracy-ish, but makes sense.
Yeah. So
the idea that all these people are catching RICO charges, all of them. The Proud Boys. You don't catch a RICO charge by accident. Since when do federal prosecutors charge people with terrorism and sedition and conspiracy by accident?
By accident? No accident here.
They are gonna fucking drop a hammer on all of these people. These people are gonna go. Some of them a year or two probation. I get it. The Proud Boys and the people who with the radios and all of that are gonna get the shit kicked out of them. They're gonna face 20 years in the feds, and they're gonna cry and cry and cry. And what's going to happen? Nothing. They're going to go away, and some other idiot is going to try to storm, the capital of Florida to support what's her name, Ivanka, when she loses, when she runs for office, and she lands in 5th place, and they're going to get murdered. And if the Republican Party wants to continue playing these games, they can continue playing these games. But at the end of the day, when you're most vocal, that's the thing about politics, is that it skews toward the angriest, the most vocal, the people who, actually show up, right?
Yeah.
That's why voting is so important, because you actually have to go out of your way to show up to vote, right? The people who are the angriest are the ones who hold the most weight in the party. The Republican Party wants to keep, supporting people trying to kill Mitt Romney. They're more than welcome to, but they're going to continue losing seats.
Well, that's what I was going to
The
ask
problem,
you.
the problem is that from a national perspective, you're literally, they're holding the Democratic Party hostage. That's basically what it's coming down to. They're afraid. The Democrats are afraid to act the way the Republicans have, because they know that they will get killed themselves. What happened when the Republican, this isn't the first time, by the way, in the last 4 years that the Republican leadership has been targeted for murder. Remember when Steve Scalise got shot? They shot like 13 of them at the very start of the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
everyone forgot about that. And what did they do? They didn't do shit. They literally turned around and loosened gun restrictions. That's how little the Republican Party cares about themselves. They can be murdered. They can be targeted for murder multiple times by their own supporters, and they're cool with it. Of course, the Democrats are gonna. You think the Democrats have the spine to stand up to the people who are they had shirts made prior to the insurrection? Yeah, they did. It was planned.
Yeah,
it was planned, and it's. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's full spectrum political warfare aimed at all levels of the American government: economic, legal, right, lawfare, political. Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He will either be the president forever, or he will burn America to the ground. And he's been doing it.
Well.
Let me ask you this, Ed, because you ain't been on a while, so I want to get your thoughts on a couple things. What is, now that we're past the impeachment, what is the immediate future for Donald Trump?
He is trying to figure out how much money he has, how much legal liability he has, and how to escape it. Those are the only things that matter for him.
That's why he's transferring a bunch of fucking money from his campaign account.
All his money, to his businesses, where he can do whatever with it.
Yeah,
turn it into $750 in taxes,
making all these invoices up and shit like that.
It was $250 million. Now it's $750.
Yeah. It's interesting because that every single time he transfers a penny, it's campaign finance fraud.
I think they're going to indict the fuck out of him.
Yeah, here's what I think the biggest liability for Trump is actually Georgia, Fulton County.
I agree with that.
The Fulton County DA is a black woman who represents Atlanta, and literally every other agency that could potentially be investigating him for campaign finance violation.
Pull that call up really quick
for campaign.
The call they got for Georgia.
I'm trying to see if we can pull the call up and play it.
When he called the Secretary of State.
Let's see if I can find it.
Literally everyone else who could have investigated, investigate Trump, is a witness to the events. He called everybody. He called the Secretary of State. He called the Attorney General, right? He tried to bully the AUSA, the national attorney for the region. That guy resigned because he didn't want to do it. Everyone is a witness. I haven't forgotten about the Southern District of New York has been ready to indict him for campaign finance in 2016 with the whole Stormy Daniels thing.
Right.
But the only reason why they haven't done that is because they're still investigating him in his books for claiming that his his tax liability is different than what his actual value is when he's talking to the banks. But I think the most immediate problem for Trump is he's out of office. You just said it. Nobody is going to visit the Trump hotel in DC right now. Nobody.
His businesses are taking a shit for sure.
Yeah.
So, I think you mentioned it, Rich, the other day, or the last time I was on, about how. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and play this.
So this is the call that they're using to launch the investigation when he called the.
It's a very long call. It's an hour and 2 minutes.
No, we don't.
So
Shit.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're not gonna.
Maybe
we're
we're
not
not playing that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to play the whole thing, but you can't just call an election official and say, "Hey, I need 11,000 votes."
I got to bring
Yeah.
it back up though.
That is-
11,780.
That is super illegal, and also even like Mayor Daley would not have been stupid enough to do that. Like, have a little bit of finesse. It points to the desperation.
That's how crazy is he? He's such a bad criminal.
Even
He's really not any good at
rally
this
size,
at all.
Yeah.
Getting 25
He should have came
percent
through Illinois
rally,
politics. We could have taught him a thing or two.
The competition.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it.
It never made sense. But we have a
You
number
can
of
play a
things.
clip of
We
it?
have at
It's
least
playing,
two or
but
three-
we can't hear for
anywhere
some
from
reason. I don't know what the fuck's
250
going on.
to
I can hear it.
3,000
Okay,
ballots were
yeah.
dropped mysteriously into the rolls. Much of that had to do with Fulton County, which hasn't been checked. We think that if you check the signatures,
How
a
long did
real
he give
check
it?
of the signatures going back in Fulton County, you'll find at least a couple of 100,000.
I can't even look at this asshole's face anymore. I'm so tired of him. I want him to go away. But he's just like fucking gonorrhea, man. He just keeps coming back.
We are quite sure that's going to happen. Another tremendous number. We're going to have an accurate number over the next 2 days.
I'm not sure when the good part that they were playing on TV
but
Yeah.
airs on here.
Yeah.
Given,
So
it's
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just cut
hundreds of thousands.
For some reason, we can't hear it on my end, but everybody else can hear it. What the little bit that we played? What was it talking about, Eddie?
Yeah, well, I mean, he basically said, "I need you to find 11,780 votes." It's completely illegal, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Like Trump, I was shoveling snow earlier. Regardless of who Trump is, right? Like, if you are somebody who lives in Georgia and they call you for jury duty, and let's say you don't know the guy's name, you hear this audio. He's like, "I need 11,780 votes." Indict the shit out of him, bro. I wouldn't even. You don't even send me back into the jury room. We'll talk right on the dais, right in front of the judge. We don't have to go deliberate. This is as clear cut of a crime as you can commit.
What I'm concerned about is if you're going to get 12 jurors, how are you going to get 12 people and not one of them is a Trump pansy?
The biggest problem I would say is that it's just a question of bias. Like how can you accurately and fairly get 12 people who don't absolutely fucking hate this guy?
Right. And it is it's in the county that Biden won, but I mean he didn't win by 120%. You know what I'm saying?
No.
All you need is 1 out of 12 to hang a jury.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean that happened with Manafort too.
Yep.
But I think that Trump's biggest issue is here's the problem. If and when he gets indicted, it's the liberal media. They all hate me. They're all out to get me, right? The bitch and moan. We're gonna get that regardless. The problem is Trump wants to be at the forefront of national politics, but he doesn't have a voice. He literally doesn't have a voice anymore. They kicked him off of everything.
Right.
So you can't really do it unless they're going to give him a TV show on Fox News or,
He could always call him for an interview.
Yeah, he could. And guess why hasn't he?
Mm.
They don't want to fucking talk. They don't want to talk to him, or he doesn't want to fucking talk to them. Either way.
Either way.
So every day he retreats farther and farther from the limelight, as I said he would, and his ability to raise money as a political figure diminishes exponentially.
Yeah.
And
To say the least.
And so I think he's trying to decide and figure out, like, how do I keep this money this faucet of money open so I can continue grifting, while at the same time, like the more he keeps his name in people's mouths and in the national consciousness, the more people are going to remember, like, hey, we still haven't indicted you.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for your taxes.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's gonna have to figure that one out. And I think part of the reason why we haven't heard him calling into Fox News and stuff like that is because he hasn't figured it out. What does he want? Does Trump want to be the guy calling the shots, or does he want to try and move Ivanka or hit one of his other dumbass kids?
Well, he's probably
As a
still
candidate.
going through like a major depressive episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. That man, I guarantee you,
his whole world crumbled down around him.
yeah, Joe Biden took his job, took
Yeah,
his house,
exactly.
called him a clown on national television, called him broke. And he's a loser. That's the thing. Like, regardless of if he will ever admit that he lost, he's a loser. He's a loser, straight up. He lost. Joe Biden's president. He lost. And for somebody who has always prided himself on being a winner, the top dog, I never lose. Even when I lose, I don't lose. He lost. He lost, and more importantly, he abandoned his most crazy, ardent supporters. The people willing to catch terrorism charges for Trump love him.
Yeah, and
he turned his back on
even
them.
pardon him.
Left him high and dry. No.
Total cuck behavior. That's peak cuck behavior, bro. And the guy and the guy who what's his name, Terrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, has been a federal informant.
Yeah,
he's a snitch.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. All this law and order, all this fuck the government unless Trump and only Trump, bro. Nobody's trying to hear that shit from a fucking informant, bro. You really think the Proud Boys are gonna exist in 5 years? You really think that they're gonna go into national, into a federal institution and be respected by the 5 prison gangs? Mm-hmm. By anyone? No, bro. No. They're gonna be in fucking SAG for 23-1, bro. These people are fucking losers, straight up. And the fact that they were even able to amass power is embarrassing, because these people are such fucking losers, and Trump abandoned them. So who's going to turn around in 5 years or in 3 years, let's say, and say, sign me up. I need another. I need to re-up on this Trump thing. I need another. No, bro, this shit is over.
But he's still got people drinking the Kool-Aid, though. But I will say there's been a ton of Republicans since January 6th changing their party affiliation.
Yeah.
They've definitely shrunk.
Nixon never lost his hardcore base, 23% or so. They heard the audio tapes, and they were like, nah, he still didn't do it.
He still didn't do it.
You heard the audio tape of Trump, right? Calling Georgia, talking about, I need 11,000 votes. Does that sound like a winner to you?
Right.
No. So, regardless of what happens, these people are going to continue drinking the Kool-Aid. Let them. Yeah, let them. Let them keep running at Marjorie Taylor Greene, QAnon crazies. Let them. What do we lose? We don't lose anything. They fucking have to embarrass themselves. Apparently her husband is also a cuck, and her husband is they have a whatever open relationship or whatever. It's just like, bro, you're some
makes sense.
You want to run for national politics and be some crazy weirdo like the QAnon shaman guy. Go for it, bro. Like, go for it. And when you get 1% of the vote, and responsible adults are actually working and doing their jobs, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I just think that, people are like, oh, well, Trump's going to run for president again. Yeah, I'm sure that that's going to go well for the Republican Party.
Yeah, he'll probably lose.
When he's 4 years older, with even a bigger diaper, his makeup looking more ridiculous, You'll probably have a stroke in the next 4 years.
Fighting cases and shit. He'll probably still
Fighting
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Republican Party is gonna be more than like. So
They're not embracing that shit.
So the fact that they acquitted him is the stupidest fucking thing they could have done. Like, it's okay. Like, no harm, no foul. Like, people are dead. You try to kill me, but it's okay. It's all good. Like, that's what people are gonna remember. The last nail in the coffin in the Trump presidency is the Republican Party saying, "Nah, we're cool with all this." And so, in a couple of years, if he wants to run, they're going to be the whole country, the whole world is on notice that the Republican Party, specifically the Senate GOP, is cool with everything he's done.
Yeah, well, I mean, the House too. We just outnumber them.
So they can keep it up, but I think that the biggest issue is facing America is not, surviving Trump. I think we somehow got through it. But I think the biggest issue is rebuilding better than what we had in America that allowed Trump to seize power, right? Like, there was no reason why he should have, even gone past that stupid elevator.
No,
Right? He should have been kicked off. He should have been kicked out of the Republican Party after the whole grab him by the pussy thing. I remember one of the early debates, he was talking crazy about how he made some offhand comment about how vaccines cause autism. Like, should have kicked him out there. They should have kicked him out when he was attacking a federal judge, saying that because he's Latino, he can't be impartial. Like,
there's numerous instances where they should have.
So many, man.
Yeah, but that's
a whole other show in itself.
The point, though, is that we allowed American politics to arrive in a place where Trump could even get away with shit like that.
Yeah.
It should have never gone to that. And so we need to build an America where that can never happen again.
Well, and what concerns me still is just the level of tolerance the GOP has for him. Mm-hmm. Like, how much is enough, man? Where he's like, you know what? Get this guy the fuck out of here.
Away.
But they keep coming back for more.
He's gone
because of that voter block.
Mm-hmm.
And it just can't be worth all that.
It is though, because they win elections. They don't have to win every election. They're sickos. If they lose an election, they just go work at a law firm or something. Like, there's no
go be a consultant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, like, what? I don't need this shit. Like, I don't need to suck Donald Trump's dick. I can go get $150,000 a year job right now.
Yeah.
Or I'm a millionaire. I can go chill the fuck out and do what I want to do. Yeah. Why do I have to bend over for this motherfucker and go and kiss his ring down in Mar-a-Lago and defend all this shit? Like, it's not even a matter of like life or death. Like, you're not losing your home over it. You're not losing, you're not losing your wealth over it. Nope. All these dudes have made money, man. And
the only thing that they're losing is their pride. And they want to. That's the thing. That's why I say they're sickles. They're volunteer for this. Ted Cruz volunteered for that. Lindsey Graham, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he's being blackmailed. These people, they do it on purpose, bro. People can. That's the thing. Like, if you're anyone who's like close to Washington, like, these senator, they don't like him. They hate him. They hate him. The people who defend him the most, like Devin Nunes and Lindsey Graham and stuff like that. Dude, you think they actually like Trump? No, they don't give a shit. No, definitely not. They hate him. And the fact that they're willing to defend him publicly while slamming him in private tells you everything that it doesn't tell you anything about Trump. Tells you everything about who these politicians are. Yeah.
But I like, even after watching him throw Mike Pence to the wolves, Mike Pence was his most loyal soldier. Like, you're not going to get no loyalty from this dude, man. And if you had ambitions of running in 2024, if any of these dudes had any balls, they would have fucking got behind banning him, throwing him off the board entirely. Get him out the way. Fox News is going to be mad at you. They'll forget in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You're not running until 2024.
No. Mike Pence got exactly what he wanted out of Donald Trump. Mike Pence, you guys know this. Mike Pence was a fucking 2 weeks away from losing his job as the governor of Indiana and spending the rest of his life on conservative talk radio. And
Yeah.
it went from that to vice president.
Yeah.
Why would he abandon Donald Trump? It doesn't matter what Donald Trump says or tweets or any damage done to national security or
But after he had his
crazy.
followers bring the gallows for you, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're Lindsey Graham, how are you not looking at that like, that could be me? You're
Yeah.
like, we need to get him the fuck out of here.
Lindsey Graham wants to be vice president too. Lindsey Graham wants to be president. Ted Cruz wants to be president. Josh Hawley wants to be president. That's
Then
why I say they're sickles. It
why
doesn't matter.
not get him off the board now? Because you don't want a primary against him in 2024. None of them dudes do. That's what I don't get. Like, if you had any balls, you would have fucking orchestrated those 17 votes and got him just banned from running for office again, and then took a shot at it. I think.
I just sent you the link I just sent you, and then I sent you a promo code that'll take like half off of it. It'll be like 48. It'll be like 48. It'll be like 48 and some change, and it's good quality.
That's what's up. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it would be the smart political move, but you said it. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham and Josh Hawley are trying to find a way to steal Trump's space without making it look like they're stealing Trump's space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what you have to do. The problem is that they're Trump's base. They only like Trump. They don't care. You think these Trump supporters who there's people who are like huge Trump supporters. They follow his legislation, proposals, whatever they may be. They talk about how Jared Kushner was so good for Israel and all these things. Like those people who actually like support Trump, they like Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and Nunez and them because they're useful to the cause of serving Trump. But that doesn't actually, like, if Trump died tomorrow, they're not going to turn around and vote for Lindsey Graham or Ted Cruz.
No, I agree with you. I don't think they will either.
Because Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham are not named Trump. It doesn't matter about the politics. These people see a man that they want to be at the end of the day.
And to be honest, I think that extends to his children too, bro. I don't think they're capturing that same energy. Even though they got the name Trump, it's still like, you're not Donald.
No,
bro.
definitely not.
No, because Trump is a myth, right? It's an image of success. That doesn't when Trump had the business stolen to him from his father. His father came to New York City, but his grandfather left Germany to go to Canada. And he left Germany because he didn't want to join the army. Ducking national service
It's hereditary.
Is hereditary, right?
Yeah, we can see where he got it from.
He went to Canada and he opened up a brothel. They've been a crime family from the jump, right? But for Trump to reinvent himself and go from the outer borough into the inner boroughs, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Being the child of a billionaire is different than inheriting, $1 million from your dad and turning that into $1 billion.
Right.
And that's not exactly what happened, but that's the myth. So like Elon Musk's kid, whatever happens to them, like they are never going to be able to say, like, oh, look at how hard I had it. Look at how much I like. Ivanka and them can turn around and say, oh, we've created thousands of jobs and paid all these taxes and shit. Like that doesn't hit, right? That's a very like mid, or like.
And to be honest, like even if she said that, she get drawn out by whatever bullshit he was saying, and he always doubles down.
Yeah.
And God, I'm so tired of him playing the victim. It just makes me sick. I'm so over it.
He's a victim. I mean, the Trump supporters, it's not their, like they had to do it. They had to storm the Capitol. You're taking their country away from them. It's their country, right? It's theirs. Doesn't belong to Antifa. Doesn't belong to Black Lives Matters. Doesn't belong to the LGBT community. It's their country,
Their country,
Yeah. And last week
and
we
Trump's
talked
their
about
president.
how they were trying to whataboutism
Mhm.
the George Floyd protests
Mhm.
to the Capitol riots, and that's just ridiculous on so many levels.
Yeah, and it's fine. They want to compare the two, they can, but we've also spent what uh half a billion dollars securing the Capitol
Uh,
since
sh-
the riot.
yeah,
Like how much? All that crying about the broken windows and property damage and all that stuff. Like what does it even like? Not even about the money. What does it show to America and to the rest of the world, where you can't even walk into the people who work in the Capitol can't even walk into the Capitol and do their job safely because the former president is telling them to go murder Mike Pence.
Right.
And like
oh, it's
we're
it's like a bad B movie from the fucking late 70s.
yeah,
But it's our
we're
real life.
we're talking about vastly different levels of power, right? Like the president should not be telling people to storm the Capitol, right? That's pretty straightforward. But like police officers should not have the unilateral authority to just choke people out to death just because they feel like it. And
No,
you know,
to both those account now.
but like one is a cop, one cop, right? And I'm being a little simplistic in saying it's one cop because there's a whole culture and it's
Yeah.
not just one cop. But anyway, one is one cop, you know, let's say like Laquan McDonald, right? Like shooting Laquan McDonald unnecessarily and unjustly, right? And all those people who help cover it up and write fake reports and delete the video from Burger King, like all those people should have been indicted and put in jail too. But not they didn't force Van Dyke to shoot Laquan McDonald. Laquan McDonald got murdered by one person choosing to murder him, right? At that's one level on that's on the street level, right? That's one person making this choice. When you're the president and you are using the full weight of the American government to prevent the security of Congress, that's a much different thing. And it's much different to say like, well, this person got murdered and you guys smashed up a bunch of shit. And it's like, yeah, we did smash up a bunch of shit. We didn't tell you to murder him. We're smashing shit up because you can't stop yourself from murdering people for no reason, right? That's
Yeah.
different than smashing shit and murder and killing cops who you're supposed to be supporting
Blue Lives
because
Matter, bro.
because
They used to.
because the guy that you like lost an election fairly and and evenly. Like we talked about this a long time ago before the election. We said it's going to take 4 or 5 days, if not longer, to get the results. Don't be surprised if Trump's up ahead and then he loses it when they count the heavier, Democratic cities. And that's exactly what happened. But no, it was stolen. It was stolen from us.
All those speeches you gave said votes just magically appeared. They're mail-in votes,
Yeah.
bro. Like who doesn't understand
magically
that concept?
appeared around 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day because that's when the mail gets delivered.
Yeah, yeah. The bills magically appear every month, bro. Like,
And the post office is the ringleader because they bring them.
Yeah.
No shit.
but that's the problem, though, right? Like, that's why I say Trump is trying to burn everything to the ground because it's not just the riot, right? One riot at the Capitol, like because as much as I may have talked and continue talking a bunch of shit about Trump, if it wasn't for the pandemic, he would have gotten reelected, hands down.
Very, very possible.
Yeah,
But
I believe that.
But the reason even with the pandemic, he still barely almost lost. I mean, nationally, he lost by like 3 or 4 points. But if you look at the margins in Georgia uh, and Pennsylvania in particular, like those are not comfortable numbers for me.
No.
Arizona, not comfortable numbers for me. But he slowed down the mail to prevent mail-in ballots. They were very close to successfully limiting the ability of mail-in ballots to come in at the rate that they did to beat Biden. They were very
Yeah.
close, and so for him to then turn around and cynically say like, "Oh, all these just magically disappeared overnight," like, no, they didn't fucking magically appear overnight, bro. People fought very long and very hard to make sure that those ballots actually came in on time.
Yep.
And were legally valid to begin with.
Yeah.
Legal.
And legal, exactly. So when he says, "Oh, all these illegal votes," he's talking about black voters. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Focus
Exactly.
on black areas.
Yes.
When he says these are illegal voters, he's talking about not people who aren't white who don't vote for him. It's not illegal to vote for somebody other than the person who's running. I didn't vote for Lori Lightfoot, but if I had voted for when I voted for Preckwinkle, it wasn't an illegal vote. Just because it wasn't a vote for Lightfoot. Like,
yep.
So the idea that like they magically appeared is a huge fucking lie, and itself, in my opinion, should result in significant legal liability for DeJoy and Trump and Mick Mulvaney and all these people. But
you could add that to the list of shit that he should be facing.
Yeah,
because that's what it's an extensive list, many pages of computer printer paper would have to be printed out.
Yeah, and I'll
cover
say
this list.
I'll say this too. The Constitution says that we need a national post office. It's in the Constitution. It's his duty as president to make sure that mail arrives on time. One of, right? And so for him to go out of his way to attack the mail system is itself a dereliction of duty, and he should have been impeached over that. But didn't magically appear. That's complete horseshit. I am sick of hearing that because
he thinks they magically appeared because he's never like received mail by himself. Like somebody's always like brought the mail to him.
No. He look. Say what you will about Brad Pascal or some of these other people running the campaign for Trump. They're idiots and completely disorganized, but they know what they're doing. When Trump came out and said at like 2 a.m, he's like, "Well, we're doing good, we're winning, and we feel when everything is said and done, we'll be victorious." Like the reason why he did that at 2 a.m. is because he knew the votes had just landed in Georgia and in Pennsylvania, and that once they started counting them, he was going to lose. That's why he did it. It was a preemptive move to make himself look like the victor early, so he could turn around and claim that the election was stolen from him later. So I knew, like, when I saw that, to me, it told me that he knew he lost, and that was my first, like, sign that the election was going to go the way I wanted it to. And 3 days later, I was still nervous as hell because they hadn't called it. Like, I didn't sleep for like 3 days straight. It was so fucking stressful.
Yeah, it was tough.
But at the same time, like, I had that in the back of my mind to say, like, look, he wouldn't have done that if he didn't know that he was going to lose. They told him, once these ballots land, it's over. And they knew it.
Yeah. But he'll just always say whatever to benefit himself.
Yeah.
Truth, lie, or indifferent. It's just,
but
he'll just say whatever.
Yeah, we could go on and on and on about all type of shit he said, but we're at about an hour and 20 minutes. We basically touched on everything we wanted to touch on this week.
Yeah,
what is next week looking like? Do you think we're actually going to move the bill the COVID bill forward?
They're going to work on it. I don't think
They're
it's
gonna
going to
they're
be
gonna work
done.
on it. I don't think it'll be done. We'll see what happens. Not that the impeachment's out of the way. They could get to work. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get back to some regular order because I've had
Yeah.
a full week of Donald Trump.
You
And
know,
it makes
the
my head hurt.
the one thing that I'm looking, I'm not sure if they have it on the schedule yet, but as far as I'm aware, the Attorney General is still not confirmed.
No, I meant to say
Yes.
that earlier
Yeah.
when we were talking about Merrick Garland getting screwed out the Supreme Court seat. Now they won't even give him a hearing. He's going to get one now because the Democrats are in control, but
Yeah.
because they couldn't reach their power sharing agreement, Lindsey Graham was still the chair of that committee, and he wouldn't even give Merrick Garland a fucking hearing.
Oh yeah. So I take it back. It is February 22nd. So
Okay.
it'll be not this Sunday, but or not next Monday, which is tomorrow, but a week from that,
Okay.
which is his confirmation hearing. So I mean, I don't know. I think that they're dragging their feet because they don't want Merrick Garland to prosecute the fuck out of all the Trumps, all the
Hey, it
Clearly, I mean, that's how they're acting. Like that's what they
Yeah.
think he's going to do.
well.
We'll see what
I
does
think
and
they're
doesn't happen.
scared. I mean,
But hopefully,
the shit that they've been trying to do to I think that Senate Republicans know that they have significant liability. So like, what's his name? The fact that Bill Barr, so like, the only person that got indicted for the whole selling stocks before the pandemic was Richard Burr.
Mhm.
And the reason why Richard Burr got indicted and not anybody else was because Richard Burr was the head of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and they were investigating Trump for his Russia connections,
Yep.
right? But I think the Republicans are doing what they're doing because they're afraid that if they let the hearing go through, and once he's confirmed, you could see somebody like what's her name, Loeffler, get indicted, or her husband, or the other guy. Forget the other guy in Texas, the Texas AG.
He's already under indictment
Braxton.
for a bunch of shit. He's
No.
bogus.
There's some other Republican in Texas, not him. There's another Republican in Texas who was doing the same thing that they chose not to prosecute him for.
Maybe Jim Cornyn.
No, I forget. But anyway, like, I think that the Senate Republicans are acting the way they are because I think that once the Attorney General role is back in the hands of somebody who's actually willing to prosecute people for crime,
Yeah.
I think that they're.
That would be good.
I think that they're trying to have a trade-off because they know that it's hard for them to be a minority party and try to gum up the works of the Democrats' plans if they're also fighting indictments constantly, and I think that's part of why they've dragged their feet in confirming Merrick Garland and transferring power in general.
Yeah.
I think it's a very natural, instinctual thing for a person to just buy themselves more time sometimes.
Mhm.
And that's what they've been doing, but they're just avoiding the inevitable because he's coming and it's all coming. And by the way, they've got they want to do a 9/11 style commission
Yes.
about January 6th now. I'm not even sure what that's even about
Yeah, I don't know
or if
what
it's worth pursuing, but it's what they're talking about.
I mean, I don't know. Part of me is like it'll be a waste of money, but then again, part of me is like they brought a whole ass Confederate flag into the Capitol, and they were smearing fucking shit on the walls and paintings and stuff.
Bro, when they bitch about like how much these fucking like impeachments and investigations cost, that's the dumbest shit to me because this government jags so much money. It just hemorrhages money everywhere. When you look at foreign aid and pork belly shit, and then like you don't want to tax people right properly. Shut up. Like it cost $30 million. That's a fucking drop in the bucket, dude. Like we're about to pass a $2 trillion COVID bill. Fuck your $30 million.
Yeah, if you need $30 million, just run a financial audit of the Pentagon. I'm sure you'll find lots of money
Oh
over
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
The idea that America doesn't have money for the poor is the biggest lie. They have plenty of money.
We don't have money for the poor in America. We
Yeah.
got money for poor people all over the world.
Mhm.
Just not
In
in fucking
America-
America.
In America, we only have money for the rich.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, head ass.
We got to give the rich more money. But hopefully, not that the impeachment's done. I'd like to move. Hopefully, moves past the focus of Cheeto,
Mhm.
the Cheeto, the former chief.
I'm interested in seeing. I mean, obviously, every day, or I feel like we're in like weekly, like not just show format, but like weekly. I think we're just going like week by week in America. We're waiting. We're trying to see like every week we see more and more vaccines rolling out, and I think we're trying like people are waiting to see like, oh, which state is going to get vaccines, or am I going to be available for me?
Where's next?
Who's expanded their 1B or whatever, and so I think like doing the show in the weekly format helps a lot because America's kind of stuck to like the CDC schedule of like when they can get vaccines out to people. But so we'll see what happens this week. Biden announced that he's secured enough vaccines so that everyone can have one by the end of the summer, which would mean what, 14, 15 months into the pandemic?
Yeah, just
that's how it's like 6 months away, bro. That's like
that's going to add. That'll probably have our death toll probably about 1 million.
Probably like 600,000.
We're definitely going over 500,000.
Definitely.
That's coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting about that. I actually had a friend of the family pass from COVID a couple of weeks ago, but he passed in Mexico. I wonder if they'll call that they'll cite him as a Mexico COVID case or an American COVID case. I'm gonna guess that America's not gonna voluntarily.
Probably neither.
Probably neither. But
they'll both disavow
Mexico's not even going to report it as a COVID death.
Yeah.
He just died.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I feel like we're kind of just in this hurry up and wait mode.
Yeah, and
it's not going to change anytime soon.
No.
So if it takes 6 months
right now,
to get a vaccine, that means we're 2/3 of the way through.
I think we're going to enter into. There's a lot of hype and hoopla with Biden coming in. He signed all his executive orders. They're trying to get the stimulus fucking pushed through and everything signed. And after that, I'm thinking it may get back to normal. It won't be such a spectacle that it's been the last 4 years. I think politics is going to get boring again. To the average person.
Good.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, to the average person,
because it's not going to be the shit show that it was. That's what it was that made it appealing. It's going to be like, what's this guy going to do or say next?
The GOP is still plenty of shit showish, though.
Yeah.
With all their internal shit. I don't know, man. Are people going to watch? People not going to watch? I'm going to watch, and we're going to talk about it here. And
yes, sir.
We'll keep it moving.
We'll be back next Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can tune in about another hour. I'll be starting another podcast called Sunday Dinner. It'll be me and Syndrome, True Show. We do it every Sunday. And that's just the schedule right now for Villain Radio Network. I will be bringing Friday Night Live back. I do have all the guests for season 2. It's just scheduling everything right the way I want to do it. And that'll be back soon.
Sounds like a plan.
And I still want to get rich doing another podcast where he just talks about Star Wars and stuff.
I want to do a Star Wars podcast till I started talking to Star Wars podcasters, and it's like, man, some of the shit they had to talk about just to fill up like a weekly content was just awful. I didn't want to do it.
I want to do a movie based one. It'll be like how women do book clubs and stuff. It'll be like that, but we'll watch a movie throughout the week or whatever, and then we'll do a podcast on the movie or something. I kind of want to do something like that.
Hey, a quick movie reference or referral. Judas and the Black Messiah,
Yeah.
the Fred Hampton story.
I haven't
It's
been
excellent.
able to sit down with it yet. I have listened to most of the soundtrack though.
Very vintage Chicago, late 60s, early 70s. Very,
Yeah.
very accurate.
A buddy of mine worked on that trial of the Chicago 7
Oh, okay.
last year, so that's pretty good.
So there's a quote in Judas and the Black Messiah. Fred Hampton actually was running a little class educating people. And he said, what's the difference between war and politics? War is politics with bloodshed. Politics is war with no bloodshed.
Well, yeah. That's
So I like that.
That's about it. And with that, we'll leave you guys until next week. Be safe because it's fucking cold.
Mask up, keep your distance.
Mask up. Wear 2 masks now, they say.
Yep.
And keep your distance.
Yep, and make sure you check your tap, your pipes so they don't freeze overnight tonight.
I'm gonna go to the Virgin Islands because Spirit got tickets $54 each way.
Bro, you think I'm not gonna buy a house in Costa Rica before this shit is all over? You got me fucked up.
And I'm gonna move to Costa Rica and take care of his house.
Bro, Texas got snowstorms right now.
Oh, before we go, did you guys see that shit in fucking Texas? The ice storm on the highway.
Yeah, my cousin lives in Houston, bro. So I've been hearing all about
that shit's crazy. I watched a video of it this morning. And these cars are like flying like 50, 60 miles an hour because they can't stop and they're on ice and they're just it was insane. I was like, holy shit.
That pileup was savage.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was 100 cars.
It looked like some movie shit, like a scene, like they're filming some scene from a movie.
Those people in Dallas, they can't drive for shit, bro. When I was driving to Austin, and I shit you not, bro, I was in like the middle lane. And this guy was in the number 1 lane, the left-hand lane, in like a minivan, and was going like 80. Realized he was going to miss his exit, swerved across like 5 lanes of traffic, cut off like 2 semis, and then like slammed on his brakes just so he could get to his exit. It was like the craziest shit I've ever seen. I was like, oh my God, you almost got wiped out like twice. And he was just like chilling, like just like it was a normal.
Yep, just like out. Hey, he don't care. He got his exit.
I was just like, yo, you guys. Texas is a different country. I have a friend who actually just moved down there. She's a DA in El Paso now, and so she just got her DA badge or whatever. But I told her, Texas is a whole different country. You're not in America. You're in Texas.
Exactly.
Dude,
exactly.
A few years ago, Atlanta got like an inch of snow, and it was like total mayhem.
I lived
I remember.
When I lived in Vegas in 2008. Vegas got like 3.5 inches, and the city shut down. It was crazy because they didn't have no plows or anything. They had from St. George, Utah. They came down with some plows, and they plowed up, and fucking this shit was gone. But it was crazy. Like everybody's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm out driving around like, "Oh, calm down, guys. Just a little bit of snow."
Yeah,
but
people don't understand. Like when it snows, like what do we do in Chicago when it snows 8 inches? Nothing. You stay inside your house. You wait until it stops snowing, then you go shovel. Right? Like what are you doing?
You shovel out your spot on the street, and you put a fucking chair there or whatever you find.
It's a pandemic. It's gonna be snowing. Where are you going? Driving 80 miles an hour?
Oh, they're going everywhere. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know there are places to be.
Well, that's the number 1 rule of driving in the snow is don't be in a hurry to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well,
get home safe, and if everyone be safe this week as well.
Yep. We'll see you guys next week.
Yo, what happened to peace?
Peace.